Hello guys, Chaos Finale here. So this weekend I was at a brand new convention here in Northern Virginia at the in Tyson's Corner at the Ritz-Carlton Tyson's Corner. And this convention was called the NovaCon, a brand new convention to enter the Northern Virginia area. And let me just say, it was a well done convention. And this is going to be my review of the NovaCon 2017 Year 1. Let's get into it. So, NovaCon was extremely well marketed. Okay, here's my 3-day badge that I had. It was an extremely well marketed event. So, what do I mean by well marketed? Well, the organizers of NovaCon really utilized they really utilized Facebook, Twitter, and I believe they utilized Instagram a little bit. But Facebook and Twitter were their main driving forces for their marketing, and it was really well marketed. Like, I had never seen any convention ever market like that before, and it was just amazing. And I really liked how they did it. Specifically, just the updates constantly, pictures, and all sorts of things. Oh, the videos they posted on their Facebook page, they were just right. Uh, of course, it was an excellent use of social media. Facebook and Twitter are two very large social media outlets, and so is Instagram. And they were well utilized to market this uh, convention to attract attention to it. And they did that splendidly. Is that a word? Screw is a word. Anyways, uh, also being a new convention, they also led an Indiegogo campaign for a goal of $20,000 just to really enhance the convention as a whole. And they reached that goal. They actually got over that goal. Um, if I look it up here real quick, so their original goal for NovaCon 2017 was $20,000 raised via Indiegogo, but instead of just 20,000 was just too low. They raised $26,818 during their Indiegogo campaign because they discounted their ticket prices for it, and it was also a way for vendors to get discounted tables and artists as well, and that was really amazing. Just watching that campaign, I was I purchased my VIP ticket to through that campaign because it was nicely discounted, and they just did a really good job, phenomenal job on the Indiegogo campaign. Mm. Their website, like all conventions do have websites where they list the details of what's at the convention, what it is, and where it's at, and what guests are going to be there, ticket purchases, hotels, all sorts of things. And they did that. Their website is very well organized. It's one of the cleanest convention websites that I've ever had the I ever visited to get updates, and just very well organized. I really enjoyed it. Um, they offered multiple levels of badges, so there were various levels of membership. You could purchase Friday only passes, Saturday only passes, Sunday only passes, 3-day passes, VIP passes that would get you 3 days, and VIP red passes that would also get you 3 days, plus some extra goodies. Um, which was really awesome. The VIP badges were really great. The perks for the VIPs, they were, I believe they were just early access to large scale events, and of course the goodie bags. VIP Reds actually got a drawstring bag like the one you see behind me. That's actually from the Legend of Zelda Symphony of Goddess this year. And just a bunch of levels, and their tickets were fairly priced too, as low as $25 to as high as $100. $100 for the VIP Red. So excellent variety of badge levels that people could choose from, and they sold out of Saturday badges. But Saturday morning they opened up more, and just to have people come in and check out the convention, and I believe they did actually sell out of those too. And then they added more. Just because people wanted to see the convention. It's a first year convention. Who wouldn't want to see a first year convention? Give it a chance. You might be surprised. Oh yes, how can I not mention the location? So the NovaCon 2017 took place at the Ritz-Carlton in Tysons Corner, Virginia, which is a very luxurious hotel. And for most first year conventions, they normally do not get that type of venue. They will go after like a student center or a gymnasium. But no, NovaCon selected the Ritz-Carlton, and the Ritz-Carlton, from what I was able to hear, as I was a volunteer there and I was at the ODR door, and the staff would actually mention how awesome this convention is, and seeing all these cool people walking through dressed up and having a time of their life. And the guests that were there for something else were like, what is going on? It's like, well, it's a Comic-Con. And they're like, well, that's really cool. And the Ritz-Carlton's an absolutely beautiful hotel. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They also had an excellent assortment of guests. They had the cast from Stranger Things there. Catherine Dyer, Shannon Purser, Randy Havens were all there. William Catt was there. John Wesley Shipp was there. Kelly Hu was there. And many, many other guests, like Ming, were there as well. And that was a big appeal for the weekend. Were those guests. Very, very good selection of first-year guests. And a lot of people were very, very happy to see these celebrities right there within eyesight, which is awesome. I mean, I saw all the celebrities, whether it was them just walking past me or me just walking around and actually spotting them. It was pretty cool. I really liked it. They kept everyone updated on Facebook and Twitter about everything that was going on with the convention, and things that were being introduced, being added, and just constantly keeping it updated, which was awesome. Very good communication from the organizers. Excellent use of social media there was just perfect. It really, really helped people better understand, well, what's going on at the NovaCon? What is at the NovaCon? Why should I go to the NovaCon? And they use social media to be like, well, here's why you should go. Here's what we have. Here's what we're doing, which is awesome. I really, really appreciate all the hard work that the organizers did on their social media accounts, which is awesome. Very amazing. Great job, guys. A few getting some suggestions from me. So on the website, you have a schedule and a program and celebrity photo shoots, all separate tabs. I would recommend putting that all together in one PDF and not just having it online. Most conventions that I go to have a printed schedule, a printed program book, and as the convention grows, I do recommend looking at a guidebook, which is an application where you can actually upload your guide to that app and people can pull it up on their phone. Large-scale conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, Katsucon, MUSA, and AwesomeCon all utilize that app. So I do recommend using Guidebook for your online guide while having the PDF file on your website and also having it printed and put into like a little souvenir bag for all the attendees to have a bag. As the convention grows, definitely consider adding that. So the photo shoot hours, at first I was afraid they were posted 2 days before the convention, but late the night, like 3 days before the convention, I went back on the website and I saw it in a separate file. I do recommend posting those hours in the registration area and also having a printout with the program print and all that in a bag. That way people can look it up quickly instead of using their phones, but also keep it on the website in case people lose their piece of paper. I completely understand that the convention wanted to be greener, be environmentally friendly, and not use a lot of paper. But as the convention grows, it is helpful to have printed versions of the materials. Program book and celebrity guides, all very helpful. But as the convention grows, that's something that I would look into. Again, once as the convention grows, but for next year, I recommend that you separate the main stage from the vendors room, because the vendors room, since there will definitely be growth next year, I'm feeling very positive. This year was a great first year, great introduction to the NovaCon and everything they had to offer. Is have the main stage separate from the dealer's room. That is, if you guys do decide to change the venue. I understand that you were able to work with the space that you got, but as the convention grows, you're going to need to separate those two rooms into main events hall, dealer's room, not together. But that is as the convention grows, and that's just a suggestion from me for next year. Oh yes, the volunteers that I worked with were very friendly. I was a volunteer this year. This was actually my first year ever volunteering at a convention ever. I decided to volunteer at this convention because I knew it was a new convention. It was going to be a smaller convention and local. So that's why I decided, like, you know what? I'm going to volunteer and try my hand at it, see if I like it. And I do. And I'm definitely going to want to volunteer next year for the convention. The staff were very helpful and very friendly, very close by, within 50 to 100 yards, and quick to answer questions if I had any. And it helped guests with questions that I couldn't answer, but I was able to, I was able to direct those questions to a staff member to get them answered in more detail for those attendees. And that's very helpful when you have the volunteers and staff working together. That is what helps make an awesome convention for attendees alike. So definitely appreciate that, guys. Great job. Awesome. I liked it. Excuse me. Multiple science registration. You guys had a lot of science registration, but they were all kind of centered around the registration room. I do recommend next year to have those signs on the right side of the registration room. If you do decide to use the venue that you guys had this year again, I do recommend putting those signs on the right side. That way, as people are walking, they can see straight ahead and they don't have to turn their head. But if they see it like on the left side, that's easier for a lot of people to see and eliminate a very common question asked, but still a question that would be asked if they're looking at their phone or they see the volunteer first and they ask the volunteer. I got a lot of questions like that. Also, maybe put so like registration badge pickup here, bag check and weapons check inside those two signs put together. People would know that, okay, I can go in there and do my check, which is great. But the signs did work. Just next year, you might want to. I do recommend maybe thinking about other sign placement. It's a little bit easier to talk about sign placement when you're actually at the venue. But still, the signs were great. I actually really liked them. All right, so next year is up a separate room for celebrity autographs and photo shoots. Have a photo shoot suite specifically for celebrity guests. And as the convention grows, you would want to consider other rooms or maybe a hallway to have the celebrities sign, do their autograph sessions. as sometimes, because as the convention grows and you get more and more guests, it can get congested very quickly in the dealer's room. So that's why I do recommend separate the celebrity stuff from everything else, just so those people know where to go. It's easier to get the guests to where they need to be and that type of thing. But that's as the convention grows. That's just a suggestion for future growth. Maybe next year, 2 years, 5 years from now, that's definitely something to consider. Because NovaCon, you guys are definitely going to see growth. You guys had excellent growth. You guys had an excellent first year. You're going to have a very strong year next year. Just keep up the good work. All right. More detailed signs on the green rooms. This is just specifically who can enter the green room. All access is kind of vague, and exhibitors, vendors is also vague. So have everyone list the people who can enter those rooms. Be like, celebrity guests, all access pass holders can enter this room. Exhibitors, vendors, volunteers, and staff may enter this green room to rest and relax and eat or change, whatever they need. So I do recommend just adding a little bit more detail to the signs. This show was good. I was able to get the question. I was able to get the green room question answered in it to the best of their ability. But I do recommend for next year, just add a little bit more detail. All right. No wristbands. I understand why you guys may have used wristbands this year, but badges are, these are much easier to track and check because people are wearing them on their chest, and that's actually the first thing that volunteers will see is what they're wearing and be able to see their pass and easier to check. And wristbands, sometimes costumes have long sleeves and they cover the wristband. So next year I do recommend badges for everyone. Definitely add places to eat. Since it was at the Texans Gallery, the cheapest food options were Starbucks and Corner Bakery. Everything else there was about moderately expensive to very expensive. So definitely want to look into developing a list of eateries around your guys' next venue, whatever you may decide, because that'll help people locate. It's like, I'm hungry. Where can I go eat? Just a suggestion, as the convention grows, that's definitely going to be something that you will definitely want. You're going to want a detailed where to eat type map in the future as the convention grows. Video rooms, I highly recommend adding some video rooms just to broadcast a couple of shows, like any anime. You're a Comic-Con, you're an anime convention, you're a pop culture convention. Video rooms are something that a lot of people are looking for, look for to relax. If they don't want to go to a panel, or they don't want to sit down on the floor or whatever. Video rooms are a great place to relax. And I do recommend adding some video rooms to next year's NovaCon. Introduce a cosplay masquerade. So this year you guys had a cosplay fashion contest both days. Now have a cosplay masquerade and have the fashion show before, in between, and after the masquerade, and have the awards awarded after everything has been calculated. And that would be, if you guys have a separate main event hall, you're very capable of doing that. I have faith that you guys would be able to organize it to a point where it would be very easy for the MC to keep organizing their notes, and also for the judges to have a more visual approach and not have a bunch of people crying like the central aisle in a vendor's room. So as the convention grows, add that in the new main events hall. I do recommend that volunteers be put at all doors and at all elevators. The reason for this is sometimes people would take the elevator to the 5th floor, and they didn't have a badge on, and the badge would not be checked. So if you had a volunteer right there at the elevators, they can be like, all right, you have a badge, you can come on to the exhibit floor, or you don't have a badge, so you can go back downstairs to the registration room and pick up a badge for yourself. So I do recommend that as the convention grows, consider posting volunteers at every single door. And of course, that depends on the staffing. That depends on the volunteer amount. If you don't have enough volunteers to do that, obviously you can't do that. But I do recommend posting volunteers at just about every door. And also, one thing is I don't think we had a medical suite. Yeah, I didn't see any sort of like medical team. As the convention grows, I do recommend like a small team of first aid responders at the convention that can help people that start to feel a little sick during conventions, and they can go into a private room to rest, and if it's bad enough, they can be checked up there, administered first aid, and have a private area should paramedics have to be called in to take them to the hospital because they're just not feeling well, and the first aid that's being provided cannot get them back to feeling well. So highly recommend that as the convention grows, is to add a little medical team. Other than that, Novacon, for a first year convention, you guys did an amazing job. I absolutely enjoyed all 3 days of the convention. There was so much to see and check out at that for a first year convention. I was pleasantly surprised. And I do hope that you guys keep up the good work. Keep the community atmosphere. Keep the organizers the same. Keep building on the successes that you have this year so next year can be even bigger and better. And I'm definitely planning on volunteering next year. As soon as it's announced, I'm going to sign up. And just a simply amazing first year, guys. Everyone came together and put on quite the show. I was pleasantly surprised, and everyone from hotel staff to attendees really enjoyed it. So thank you, Novacon, and welcome to the convention scene in the DMV area. You're now part of a family that includes Katsucon, Otakon, Anime USA, and AwesomeCon, and several other conventions that I don't know the names of. And you're now part of that family. I don't know what to say, guys, but you're now part of an even bigger family. You are the newest convention in town. I'm looking forward to your second year, what you put on, and just keep up the good work, guys. I really enjoyed it. And I hope that the suggestions that I put in this video really do help, and you guys are getting some good feedback. Thank you again. And the videos that you guys have on your Facebook page, they're great there. I do recommend that you guys open up an official YouTube page just to have another place where you can post your videos. So we can go back and watch them if we want. But anyways, Novacon, great job. I look forward to 2018. And thank you for being an excellent first year convention. Thank you.